We are Tottenham TV, Aston Villa 2, Tottenham 0. Another day, another defeat for Tottenham Hotspur. 21 defeats in the Premier League this season. And look, it was a much changed side, wasn't it? 11 changes from the second leg at Bodo. And for the first 45 minutes, I thought we handled it. I wouldn't say we were brilliant or anything, but I thought we handled it okay, you know, defending resolutely, not letting Villa have too many chances on goal and restricting them to probably, you know, they were very frustrated in that first half. And I think that was due to the good work that Spurs were doing. And I thought we were being very aggressive up against the Villa forward line. But look, the reality was this team was never going to be good enough to go to Villa Park in a massive game for them and go and do the business. And I think, you know, once the second half started, you could kind of tell what was going to happen. And once the goal came on the kind of hour mark, it was just kind of one-way traffic from there.
I think that was it. That was the goal, because I think that was the killer, I think, that opening goal. Because I think even in the second half, there was that period just before they scored, we were having a bit of possession, looking confident, not recreating anything, but, you know, having a bit of the ball and looking to, like, settle into the game. And I thought, like, first half started fairly well, had a couple of early moments on the counter-attack. Odebear had this back heel chance, which forced Martinez into a save. Sonny was causing trouble down the left. One moment he cut inside and shoot from a tight angle, whisker away from hitting the top corner. And he had a couple of decent breakaways as well, where he was looking threatening. So it was looking all right. Villa, I think, as the half wore on, was starting to win that midfield battle and starting to really dominate and create some moments. Obviously, Kinski had to make a brilliant save from Morgan Rogers, and they were getting some moments from crosses from Watkins was getting some half chances, Asensio as well. They were buzzing around. So I do think as the half wore on, Villa were definitely asserting themselves and penning us in a bit, and we struggled to really create near the end of that half. And then second half started, as you say. I think there was just, I feel like at the game of the 0-0, there was just a nervous energy about Villa. They were kind of, maybe they thought it was going to be easier than it was up until that point, and maybe they thought they were going to basically blitz us and it was just going to be a simple win. But with it 0-0, I think just before the hour mark, I think there was a bit of a nervous energy. And there was that moment just before they scored where we were having a bit of a spell possession and they looked a bit just on edge, and the fans were getting a bit tetchy. You could hear it on TV. But as soon as they got that goal from the corner, Ezri Konsa flicking in a header from Watkins, and it just settled them down. And after that, it was just plain sailing. We had nothing. We didn't offer anything. And Villa, they gained confidence, and you could see it just flow through the team. All of a sudden, little quick interchange. All of a sudden, the confidence was flowing through the team, and they just dominated, penned us in, got the second through Kamara, and it was a simple day in the end.
Yeah, I mean, look, once the first goal went in, you knew that we were never going to get back into that game. We never even threatened to get back in that game after they went 1-0 up. But I would say in the first half, Sonny looked really bright out on that left-hand side, you know, showing good turn of pace. Yeah, maybe not creating enough and more and enough than what maybe he should have done. But I felt like if anyone was going to do something in the first half where we were looking somewhat threatening, it was always going to be through Sonny, wasn't it? And, you know, in terms of Sonny being out injured, looking to get him back to some sort of levels for Wednesday, I guess you can call it a somewhat success in from that aspect. I don't think he really showed up for the second half, though.
Yeah, I think, look, I'm not going to say it was his best game, but definitely in the first half, I think some of the turns of pace that we saw from Sonny is something that we haven't seen much even this season. The way he strode past Cash and Kamara on a couple of occasions, leaving them for dead. And yes, probably could have done better with when he got into the space, but the pace he was showing was something that tells me he's, in terms of physically, he's going to be ready for Sunday, and I think he's going to be looking a lot better and sharper for Sunday. So there was that one moment as well. He cut inside and just had a ferocious shot to the back post and nearly found the top corner, and those are the kind of things you want to see from Son, because he's got that quality. So I think based on what we saw today, he played 75 minutes as well, and he didn't get taken off at half-time like Ange said he might have done. He played 75 minutes, so I think in the lead up to a cup final, in terms of preparation, that was probably good enough for me to suggest he's probably going to start on Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, do you think the 75 minutes would have done him well? Would you have preferred him to get taken off at half-time? Because initially I would have said 45 minutes probably, would have been enough. But maybe because he's been out injured for so long, to get him in his rhythm, maybe the 75 minutes would have done him the world of good.
Yeah, if he feels like he can carry on and he feels good, then keep him on for as long as possible, because then once he comes to Wednesday, he'll have those minutes in his legs behind him to play even longer. So I think it's probably a good thing he played 75 minutes. Again, the other players around him, Odegaard, Tell, more. Tell and Odegaard in the first half showed flashes, but as definitely in the second half, they were poor and they couldn't really get involved in the game. There was one moment, a bit of flash of good stuff from Odegaard where he kind of rode a challenge from McGinn, played a good ball out wide to Tell, but nothing really came of it. Apart from that, he struggled. Tell had a few opportunities to kind of show bits, but he struggled again. Moore was really struggling down that right-hand side. To be honest, I thought Maatsen had the beating of him every time physically. So that was a disappointment. Would like to have seen more from him. So I think when it comes to auditions to being on the lineup, probably as well the fact that we saw Solanke and Richarlison together at the end, maybe hinting at that's maybe what we're going to be seeing on Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, if Odegaard would have put in a bit of a stronger performance today, he could have staked a claim to the spot, but he didn't. That's the reality. Look, that was that one moment with the back heel, but apart from that, didn't really look threatening throughout the time he was on the pitch. So with Solanke and Richarlison coming on, I think that does suggest to you that's what we're going to see on Wednesday night. And I think we pretty much know the team now for Wednesday night, with Vicario, the back four of Porro, Udogie, Romero, Van de Ven, Bissouma, Bentancur in double pivot, Solanke and Richarlison very close to each other, and then Sonny and Brendan Johnson on the flank. So I think we pretty much know it, don't we?
Yeah, I think so. And I think that's probably the right team. I think physically it's probably the right team. I think in terms of trying to make up for a lack of creativity with Maddison, Decky and Bergvall all being out, just get a lot of crosses into Solanke and Richarlison, and have Son delivering from the left, you have Porro delivering from the right, and that should make up for what would be the lack of creativity in those central areas, I would hope for.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was just like a massive weight kind of lifted off the shoulders at 90 minutes, because I was like just waiting for this game to be over. Like even 2 days ago, I was saying, just get this weekend over and done with, get us till Bilbao. And that is the only thing that really matters right now. And yeah, look, it pains you to see Spurs lose, particularly the amount of times we've lost this season. But the reality is this game didn't mean anything in terms of our outlook of the season. All that matters is on Wednesday night. We've come through unscathed, apart from, I think, Pape's gone off with an injury.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how he is. It's
which,
not
look,
great.
he was never going to start, but he could have made an impact off the bench, holding on to the game in the last 20 minutes or something.
Another in midfield injury is something we could have done without.
Yeah, absolutely. But look, the reality is, just get us to Wednesday. The performance is going to be a lot better than what we showed today. We've shown it time and time again this season, from the games before Frankfurt onto Frankfurt, the games before Bodo onto Bodo, both legs. So I have no doubt in my mind that we're going to see a much different Spurs team. Well, we'll see it personnel-wise, but in terms of mentality, attitude, I did feel like the aggression from the team was actually really good in the first half today. And then second half, it just seemed to drop off a lot in terms of aggressive-wise. I'm not sure what that was down to.
Well, I think we were definitely purposefully not kind of pressing at full pelt today, especially in both halves. I think we were definitely holding off on Aston Villa, and I think we were kind of waiting for them. We were waiting for them to come into us, and we weren't kind of going full pelt. We weren't getting in their faces, but I thought at times in that first half it was working, and I thought we were frustrating them. But again, as soon as that first goal goes in, all of a sudden sitting off them is what they want, because they don't mind you sitting off them because they don't need to score now. And that is, as soon as they got the goal, they got you exactly where they want you, and that's the problem. So I think it was probably working for a bit, and it was shades of what we were seeing in Europa League games. But I think as soon as we go 1-0 down, it kills that approach, and we needed to go a bit more full on them. And either way, probably suits them, because whether we sit off them, they just see out the game, or we go at them and then all of a sudden they can pick us off. Either way, that goal kills us, and it did.
So another forgettable game for Tottenham Hotspur. Like I said before, 21 defeats this season, but let's just bloody hope that we could do the business in Bilbao Wednesday night and I cannot wait. I am still nothing's going to knock the stuffing out of me. Nothing's going to knock the excitement out of me. Not 21 losses, not nothing, because I am absolutely gassed to get to Bilbao. I set off on Monday. Sim sets off on Tuesday. And just get us to that city in Spain, man. Just get us there.
Look, we knew, I was saying to Ben before the game, it's just another game we're going to have to get through. It's just so obvious. We're obviously not going to win. It's obviously we're not going to get anything out of this game. To be honest, performing like we did in the first half was probably better than I'd hoped for. I thought the whole game was probably going to be like the last half an hour or the most of the second half. So, the fact that we held them off for an hour, I would have taken that before the game. I know it's
11
hard
changes
to say.
as well, though. Like,
It is what it is. It is what it is. We're playing. How many teenagers did we start with? 3 or 4 teenagers. Much changed team as well. It was always going to be difficult. It was always going to be difficult to kind of keep them at bay, considering what a massive game it was as well for them, and it was important for their top 4 challenge. They were never going to let us get away with the result here, and we definitely needed to take the lead as well if that was going to happen. So we didn't do that. We probably, we had those chances right at the beginning. If we put one of them away, maybe it could have been different. But even then, it probably is not. But maybe it could have been. As soon as we're given Villa the lead, they're very good at hanging on to leads. They're very very tactical team.
They didn't even need to be good at hanging on to lead today.
No, they didn't. I mean, it was simple for them. And I think definitely the forward line, the lack of physicality, you could see every time we were playing the ball into midfield or in the forward line, just coming back at us because you got Konsa, Kamara, Onana, Pau Torres. It was so easy for them to just win those duels every time and sustain that attack and come back on us. So it was another really difficult watch and another disappointing game. But at the end of the day, we've got a cup final in Bilbao. Yes, it's not nice watching these games. It's not nice basically seeing us sacrifice all these Premier League games at the altar of winning the Europa League. But that's what we've got to do. I think that's the right course of action. I think that's the only way we're going to get any sort of happiness out of the season is if we put all our eggs in that Europa basket. And that's what we've done. That's, we've gone like we did today. United have gone full strength today. They're currently 0-0. I can see it at the bridge, but they've gone really full strength. We'll see what condition they'll be on a Wednesday. Which approach will pay dividends, but let's hope what we've done is going to be worth it.
Which approach do you think is the smarter move? I think, I guess, different teams call for different approaches, and when you look at Spurs. And when you look at every game, we just seem to pick up an injury. And this game was no different, by the way, because Sarr goes down today. Kulusevski goes down in the last game. Which approach do you think probably is the best way to get the result in the final? Is it better to kind of rest players so your kind of key players are not playing for 10 days? Or do the players need rhythm?
I think in a perfect world, they probably do need a bit of rhythm. I think not playing for 2 weeks is not the ideal scenario. But knowing how tight, how much of a knife edge this cup final was on, and how tight the margins are going to be, and also the injuries we keep getting when we are playing, and the injury we did get, big injury we got in the last game, and the fact that we do seem to be rotating a lot up until these Europa League games, we do seem to be doing okay. I think for us, it's probably the smarter move, and as well, we're knowing that this cup for us, not just getting Champions League, but just that winning a trophy is everything to this club and everything to the fans. I think we've just got to put all the eggs in this basket. I think for Amorim Man United, it's a bit different because in terms of their approach, it's like it's not like he doesn't care about you winning Europa, but it's like that's not the be all and end all. The be all and end all is creating a team that could challenge on all fronts and being a consistent team and aiming that goal. And if like in his mind, if you can't handle playing on Friday and then playing again on Wednesday, then you're not good enough for this football club and you should be able to handle it. Whereas right now for us, it's like everything is riding on this cup final in terms of just winning that trophy and how much it would mean for this club. I think in a different scenario, if we were in a different place in the league or if we hadn't had all these injuries this season and it was a different kind of kettle of fish, you probably would want to make a few changes, but not as many as we did. Well, let's say and Chen said himself, he probably wouldn't want to make all 11 in a perfect world, but he kind of feels like he has to.
Let's say we were in a similar position as we were to last year, bearing down on the top 4, a point outside the top 4 or something. Mm-hmm. We're probably going strong today.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
put a much stronger team out there today. 100%.
And that's why as well, because like Man United are in a similar position to us in the league. That's why I was a bit surprised that they went as strong as they did today. Because their league game means absolutely nothing.
I agree, but he's made it clear. He's made it clear, Amorim, or he's given a dive against Yellow. He's made it clear, Amorim, that whether they win or lose, like it doesn't change anything for him, like how he sees the team and all this kind of stuff. Whereas for us, it's just different. It's like this is like in terms of when people say like, you know, if you win the Europa League for Man United all the time, it's just papering over the cracks. But it's like for us, that's not the point. Like this is everything. Like this is what we want, is this trophy. Like this is not about papering over the cracks or anything. This is about doing something we haven't done in 16 years. This is the goal. The goal is to win the trophy. Like for Man United, it isn't the goal to win the Europa League. The goal is to be title challengers and be consistent. Obviously, we one day want to be there as well. But for where we are right now as a club, this is the goal: is getting a trophy over the line and winning something for the football club. That is like everything. So it's not about papering over cracks. Like this is like it. If you know what I mean.
To a certain extent, yeah, just to get the monkey off your back. That's all it is.
I'm saying as
Get
where
the
we are
monkey off
as a
your
club,
back,
that's
like-
where we are.
But in terms of like where we are and where Manchester United are at the club, it's very similar. Like in terms of where we are right now, the only difference is that Man U are able to win consistent trophies, and we're just nowhere near to be able to doing that, and we just always fall short when it really matters. So I think if we can get that monkey off our back, maybe next year, if we are in, it's not going to be everything to win the Europa League, where it will just be a really good thing to do.
Absolutely, and obviously if we win it, we'll be in Champions League. But I agree. It's obviously when you've been so long without a trophy, once you win it, it's not winning that trophy again. Is not as high a priority as the
Still
other
obviously
stuff.
a big priority.
Of course
obviously.
it is. Trophy is always going to be a big priority when you go through a massive trophy drought like we have. Every year we talk about it. It's all we talk about. This club is obsessed with winning a trophy. It's all the fans talk about. It's seeped into the players. We can clearly see that with how they talk about winning this trophy, winning it. Since the beginning of the season, they've been talking about what the goal is for the season. I want to win a trophy for these fans. I want to win a trophy. And just been talking about, you could be the guys to break the duck. That's clearly been what's been forefront of their minds. And that's because, whatever you want to say, it's because of how I think a large part is how the fans have been continuously obsessed with winning that trophy.
Yeah, no, it's true. And let's hope we can get that monkey off our back on Wednesday night. What a big day. What a big occasion. And I just hope the kind of players go into it wanting it a lot more than Manchester United, because of everything that you've just said. It means so much more to this football club than it means to that football club. So I think we have to play the game like that, basically. We need to go into it, because there's rumours are there's going to be a lot more Spurs fans than Manchester United fans. And when you're looking at the demographic of both fans, there are a hell of a lot more Manchester United than Spurs fans in England. You know what I mean? So for us to take a lot more fans to Bilbao than Manchester United, I think is very significant in itself.
And just the fact as well, we were looking at before, like if we win, we're planning to do an open top bus parade. Like United,
they're planning to do a barbecue.
They're planning, or whatever. I don't know what they're planning to do, but they're not planning to do an open top bus parade. They didn't do one when they won one. In fact, they won the double under Mourinho, and I don't think they did one. Like that just goes to show the standards and the difference in the size of club and where we are. Both clubs are right now. So I think people need to realise how massive this will be for us. And I think Ange is right to put all the eggs in this basket in search for winning it. And obviously, we'll sit here, and if we've lost in the final, and he'll obviously have to go, and people will be angry at him and everything. But it doesn't change the fact it was right to do this in this situation, in my opinion.
All right. So all roads lead to Bilbao, people. It's time to get hyped for the final. Put this loss behind us. Just forget about this loss and focus on the game on Wednesday night, the one that really matters. But that is it from us from the Instant Match Reaction.